Also on Wednesday night, national attention was focused on Tucson, where President Obama was attending a memorial for the victims of Saturday's dreadful shooting. The president spoke of the need for positive dialogue following the tragedy.
But at a time when our discourse has become so sharply polarized, at a time when we are far too eager to lay the blame for all that ails the world at the feet of those who happen to think differently than we do, it's important for us to pause for a moment and make sure that we're talking with each other in a way that heals, not in a way that wounds.
Although San Diego is miles away from Tucson, the connection between the cities became tighter when two key players in the legal aftermath of the Tucson killings were named this week. Both the defense attorney for the accused killer and the federal judge who will preside are from San Diego. For more on this developing story, we're joined by KPBS reporter Amita Sharma. Amita, San Diego attorney Judy Clarke is going to defend accused shooter Jared Lee Loughner. What other high-profile cases has she been involved in?
Well, quite a few. She represented Unabomber Ted Kaczynski. She also had as her clients the Atlanta Olympics bomber Eric Rudolph, as well as the 20th co-conspirator in the September 11th attacks, Zacharias Moussaoui, as well as Susan Smith. She was the South Carolina mother who murdered her two sons back in 1994. So of the most notorious and challenging defendants that the U.S. has had in recent history, they have been her clients.
Interesting. So we know something about her, and we know something about the kinds of cases she takes on and how she presents those cases. So what does all this say about the way she might present Loughner's case?
Well, Judy Clarke's expertise is in federal death penalty cases. She has a lot of experience in this area. Now, no decision has been made as to whether the Justice Department will pursue the death penalty in the Jared Loughner case, but if it does, she has a lot of expertise. She's very effective in this area. In terms of people who know her as co-defense counsel and on the opposite end as prosecutors, they say she is very thorough as a lawyer, very objective, and compassionate. They also say that there's not a lot of flash, not a lot of buzzers with her, and that seems to play well with jurors.
She's not the kind of a defense attorney who goes out and writes a high-profile book afterwards and gobbles up lots of money.
We don't know that yet.
No, that's right. But I mean, generally, that isn't her profile. But what's her track record on these cases?
Actually, very, very good. In the cases of Ted Kaczynski and Eric Rudolph, the Unabomber and the Atlanta Olympics bomber, she was able to reach a settlement with the government on their behalf. So both of these men pleaded guilty. They avoided a trial, and they avoided the possibility of death. In the case of Susan Smith, she was able to persuade a jury that Susan Smith suffered mental illness at the time of those murders, and they did not pursue the death penalty against her.
Interesting. Sort of gives us maybe a little hint as to what's going to happen in this trial. But San Diego has another connection, too. U.S. District Judge Larry Burns, who is based here in San Diego, he's scheduled to hear the case. What do we know about him?
Well, Judge Burns has presided over several high-profile trials. He was responsible for sentencing former Congressman Randy Duke Cunningham. He presided over the trial of defense contractor Brent Wilkes, who was accused, or actually convicted, of bribing Cunningham. He also has handled some of the Ariana Felix drug cartel cases. He's known as a no-nonsense guy who likes to move cases forward fast. He has high expectations, I think, of the prosecution as well as the defense. And what's interesting about this case is when he was a federal prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office, he was one of the top prosecutors there, and this was at a time when defense counsel, in this case Judy Clarke, was running the Federal Defender's Office. So they actually had cases against each other.
So this is going to be very interesting. We don't yet know whether the trial will be held in Tucson or San Diego or elsewhere, but we'll be watching it. Thank you very much, Amita Sharma.
Thank you.